severe on everyone you meet. They come on the street and give their lives. We are the people. They won't take us alive. Manipulation, torture, murder, genocide, mechanics of death. All through the sky, a new heaven awaits. An afterlife of this, we must stand strong. We must resist. They come on the street. They spill their lives. We are the people. They want to get us alive. All troubles. They spit our name. We are the people. We won't stop in They come on the street. Say we won't survive. We are the people. They won't get
Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's that time once again. It's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I'm your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Saturday, January 4th, 2025, and you are locked in. Come on in, say hello in the chat, get your toast, get your message read on screen. Let me know you're here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, looks like we got still life over on YouTube. Good to see you. Good to see you. Cheers and welcome. So I'm going to admit, not a whole lot going on. Don't have a whole lot today. What I will do is right now, President-elect Trump is in the middle of a press conference, and I want to go ahead and just go live and just see if he's got anything worthwhile to say before I get into the news of the week.
Sure. If you had any discussions with Venezuela?
For January 6th defendants, you had said in the first
Oh.
few minutes of your administration,
Good
you would
timing.
issue pardons for January 6th defendants. Does that include, will that be a blanket pardon? Does that include
Well, you'll find
everyone?
out, but it's going to go quickly.
And just to follow up on
You had any
your
discussion, sir?
You'll
with-
find
in
out.
terms of your mass deportation plans, if you had any preliminary discussions
Wow,
with
he
countries
just
like
totally
Venezuela,
dodged the
from where
question.
The Tren de Aragua gang is now.
There we go, Tren de
popping
Aragua.
into
They'll
this
take them
country?
back.
They're going to take them back.
They're all taking them back. Yep. And if they don't, they'll be met very harshly economically.
Uh-oh.
Okay, they'll all take them back. You know, Venezuela and other countries were not behaving very well with us during my administration, and within 24 hours, they were behaving very well. They'll all take them
And
back.
separately, can I ask a follow up
Jeff?
on that?
All right.
Nice to see you, Jeff. This is like the old days, right?
Nice to see you.
You look, actually, you look much better now than you did 4 years ago. What are you doing? What's he doing? All right, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The first day you just mentioned that you're in office, I imagine you've got some executive orders that you're
Yeah, a
going
lot
to
of
go through. Can you tell us what
We'll have a lot. Well,
what are your
you,
priorities?
A lot of
I bet you
executive
could
orders.
you could say as well as I could. We will have many executive orders and other things that we'll be signing on.
And other things.
You also, just going back to my initial question about the Middle East. You
That's
said
a little
the
terrifying to me.
conversation with Prime Minister Netanyahu was kind of a review. Did you repeat
We
that
just had a
threat?
very
Netanyahu.
good conversation, and you know the real conversations will start on the 20th. But we had a really good conversation, and I think we're going to be in a good
The
place in
real
Middle East. I think
conversation.
the Middle East will be in a good place. I think actually more difficult is going to be the
I couldn't flex my
Russia-Ukraine
muscle on
situation.
him today.
I see that as more difficult. I don't think they should have allowed missiles to be shot 200 miles into Russia. I think that was a bad thing. And that brought the Koreans in, you know, North Korea, another man I get along with very well. I'm the only one that does. But that did a lot of bad things. I don't think that should have been allowed. Not when there's a possibility, and certainly not just weeks before I take over. Why would they do that without asking me what I thought? I wouldn't have had them do that. I think that was a big mistake they made.
Will you reverse that decision when you're in office to let those
I might, yeah.
missiles be?
I thought it was a very stupid thing to do.
And when you
Do
say
you have any
that-
reaction to
just one
Stephen
last one on
Cross?
this. When you say that there will be hell to pay if the hostages are not released before January 20th, what does that mean?
Well, they're going to have to determine what that means. But it means it won't be pleasant. It's not going to be pleasant, yeah.
Is he threatening sending U.S. troops into
Did you talk about
Palestine?
tariffs in that meeting? Apple CEO Tim Cook.
I did have dinner with Tim Cook. I had dinner with sort of almost all of them, and the rest are coming.
almost
And
all of
This
who?
is one of the big differences, I think, between, we were talking about it before.
Tech CEOs?
One of the big differences between the first term, in the first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality changed or something. But I had, as you know, I had Sundar from Google, but I also had Sergey. Nobody reported that. Sergey is the owner, the primary owner, along with his friend, as you know. And Sergey was here also. I can't believe you didn't pick that one up. Nobody picked that up. But I will tell you, no, it's a big difference. The big difference is that
See how Trump gets offended
first
when he
time
doesn't
everybody
make
was
the
fighting
news?
me on all fronts.
I love it.
And we had a great administration. We got the biggest tax cuts in history, rebuilt the military. Too much of it was given away to Afghanistan, stupidly given away, horribly given away. I think that's one of the reasons that Putin went in to Ukraine when he saw the stupidity of Milley and these guys. They're stupid people, very stupid people. If they didn't do such a bad, you know, we were pulling out of Afghanistan, but I would have pulled out with dignity and strength. They wouldn't be having parades, I guarantee you, showing our equipment that they left behind, because we weren't going to leave any equipment behind, not 10 cents. We were going to take every
Wow.
screw and every bolt.
Shots fired on Afghanistan.
So, yeah, the biggest difference is that people want to get along with me this time. Well, they've gone through 4 years, and, you know, it wasn't easy for me, but it wasn't easy for them either. And that's a great thing, though. Getting along is a great thing. So Tim Cook was here. I think he's done an incredible job at Apple. And he talked
I don't
about
like that. I don't like that getting
future of
along is a
Apple.
good thing.
It's going to be a bright future.
He went
But
from
we
being
have
attacked
many others also
from all
and not in that
sides,
business. And
and now he
we
wants to
do
get
have
along with
Jeff
the
Bezos,
people who
Amazon coming in
shit on MAGA.
sometime during the week. Look forward to that. We have a lot of great executives coming in. The top executives.
Which we'll
the
talk a
top
little bit
bankers,
later about
they're
the
all
Speaker of the
calling- and
House.
Honestly, in the first time, I don't know what it was. It's like a complete opposite. In the first one, and the press has covered that fairly, actually, for change. The first one, they were very hostile. And maybe it was my fault, but I don't really think so. They were just very right from the beginning. And this one is much less
They didn't
hostile.
view him as
It's really the
presidential.
opposite of hostile.
Can I get your reaction
Well, you're free to
At
give
the
us
beginning of
your-
his
I know,
first
I know
term.
that you had some, I believe,
didn't take him
involvement
seriously.
18 years ago with the students at Duke accused of rape in La Crosse. Now we have this
Well,
development.
I thought it was a hoax when it happened, the
Yep.
Duke situation. I didn't believe the woman, as you know, and they destroyed the
With
lives
good reason.
of these kids. They
And now she's
destroyed-
sorry
I don't
for
care
it.
what they got. Their lives have been destroyed. Their lives have been shortened by what took place. And now the woman admitted that it never happened. That is a horrible. And as you know, I took a lot of heat when I said that this did not happen. And those
Believe
kids were
all
beautiful
women.
kids with beautiful
I lied
families, and
about
they
it.
were, in some cases, will never be the same. They will never be the same.
Have you talked to them by chance?
Thoughts on the Postal Service? You mentioned Bezos a second ago, and I've always thought Bezos would be a key person to go in there and really streamline the logistics
Yeah.
of the post office, but they lose billions.
Well, there is talk about the Postal Service being taken private. You do know that. Not the worst idea I've ever heard. It really isn't. You know, it's a lot different today with between Amazon and UPS and FedEx and all the things that you didn't have. But there is talk about that. It's an idea that a lot of people have liked for a long time. We're looking at it. I think we're looking at that along with a lot of us. Any questions for Howard, by the way? Commerce.
Sure, I'll ask one. Mr. Incoming Secretary, do you see another trade deal with China coming?
I think the president, yeah. Oh, it's easy for me. You're sitting next to me, so it's okay. No, the president has very clear agenda for tariffs. And I think reciprocity is something that is going to be a key topic for us. How you treat us is how you should expect to be treated.
Would you like to weigh in, sir, on that?
Reciprocal.
We tax them the same amount. They tax us. Forgetting this.
Yeah,
for a
but
second about the word.
their labor costs
They
are
tax
lower.
us, we tax them. And they tax us almost in all cases, they're taxing us, and we haven't been taxing them.
We have to tax them more than they tax us.
Is there a
'cause their
deal
labor
already
costs are
underway
shit.
with respect to that?
Let's just say this, we're gonna make great deals. And we have all the cards. And until I came along.
All
don't
the
forget,
cards. I don't
and
know about all
Howard was
that.
going over the numbers with
We've got
me
good
last night.
cards.
We took in $600 billion and more in taxes and tariffs from China. No other president took.
I don't like
10 cents,
this.
Not 10 cents.
Trump is
10
sounding
cents.
too much like
And,
your
I
average
know
politician.
we'll be doing things. We're gonna
This
be
is
treating
some
people
some
very
dodgy
fairly.
language here.
But the word reciprocal is important because if somebody charges us, India, we don't have to talk about own. If India charges us 100%, that we charge them nothing for the same, they send in a bicycle and we send them a bicycle. They charge us 100 and 200. India charges a lot. Brazil charges a lot. If they want to charge us, that's fine, but we're going to charge them the same thing. That's a
Are you
big
worried
thing.
about
And you know what? The senators, some of them aren't necessarily business people. When I give that to them, they say, that sounds fair to me.
Are you concerned that tariffs might hurt the stock market rise that you have seen and the economy more broadly?
Make our country rich. Tariffs will make our country rich.
But won't they raise prices?
Properly used. Well, I didn't have any inflation and I had massive tariffs on a lot of things. We put tariffs on steel. If I didn't put tariffs on steel, 50% and more, they were dumping steel in, China and others. I put tariffs on and it stopped and we took a fortune. We made a fortune on it. Tariffs properly used, which we will do.
Yeah,
And
the
being
market
reciprocal
contracts,
with other
but then it
nations.
gets better.
But it'll make our
Like
country
it
rich. Our
forces
country right
the
now
markets to
loses
come up with a
income.
solution.
Almost nobody do we have a surplus with.
The
There are a
free
couple of
market will
countries,
find
and they're
solutions.
embarrassed about it. But almost nobody. And tariffs will make, I always said, to me, tariffs, the most beautiful word in the dictionary.
As long as you stay the
They'll
fuck
make
out
our
of their
country
way.
rich. You go back and look at the 1890s, 1880s, McKinley, and you take a look at tariffs. That was when we were at our proportionately the richest.
Agree with the view from.
Did you get to a good
Back
spot?
on Ukraine, Mr. President. What should Zelensky, if anything, be
Ukraine.
prepared to give up to end this
He
war?
should be prepared to make a deal. That's all. Got to be a deal. No, got to be a deal. Too many people being killed. That is a war that's on. Too many people. Got to make a deal. And Putin has to make a deal too.
What deal?
Do you
By the
think-
way,
Don
Putin
Bass.
has to
You
make
got to
a
give
deal.
up Don Bass.
Putin would have never gotten it if I was president. If I was president, we wouldn't have had inflation. Our oil prices would have been lower. I had a good relationship with Putin. He would, despite the Russia hoax, which made it more difficult. If we had that election, if it were an honorable election, we wouldn't have had any of the problems that we're talking about right now. Putin would have never got it.
The life says
Will you
scarcity
make a
finds
deal to
value.
give up
Take
this
office, you said that
Will
you
you
could make
ask-
that deal before you take office. Do you still think you could make that deal?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Will you ask
Based on
Putin
your-
to give up Assad?
Well, I hadn't thought of it. I think we have to get on with our lives. We'll have to see what happens. But right now, Syria has a lot of, there's a lot of indefinites. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Syria. But I think Turkey is going to hold the key to Syria, actually. I don't think you've heard that from anybody else, but I've been pretty good at predicting. I want to thank you all, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. I guess that's
So
it.
to have that offer made, and we have so many companies
Wait, what?
coming in now that will be announcing, or that will announce themselves. We don't have to be with them to do it, but they'll be announcing. And as I
It
said,
looked like he
small
was leaving,
business
and then the video
optimism
jumped, and now he's
took a
talking. again.
41-point jump. 41 points. It went up 41 points. That's unheard of, and that's the biggest they think in recorded history. But they know at least a minimum of 39 years, so that's great. But on behalf of the American people, I want to thank Masa for his faith in what's happening with our country and what's happening with the world. There's a whole light over the entire world. Many people, some reporters.
Okay, I'm
and
going to go ahead and
speaking to them, they
stop
said,
this. Go ahead and stop that. I'll get into the stories of today. We've got a virus outbreak in China. What is HMPV? This is from the Independent's Stuti Mishra. What is HMPV? China steps up emergency measures amid a new virus outbreak. China is experiencing a surge of infections of a respiratory virus, leading to overcrowded hospitals, emergency measures, public concerns about an outbreak. The virus, identified as human metapneumovirus, has seen cases spiking across northern Chinese provinces this winter, particularly among children. The outbreak comes 5 years after the world was first alerted to the novel coronavirus in Wuhan, China, which later turned into a global pandemic, killing 7 million. Photos and videos of people wearing masks in hospitals in China emerged on a social media platform. Hey, we got Sanglant over in the chat on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you. And we got Still Life saying easily manipulated. You mean these viral outbreaks, or you mean Trump? Short memories, no conviction. Oh, you mean the Chinese populace. Health authorities began implementing emergency measures to monitor and manage the spread. However, Beijing has downplayed the developments as an annual winter occurrence. China's foreign ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said on Friday, respiratory infections tend to peak during the winter season. The diseases appear to be less severe and spread with a smaller scale compared to the previous year, she said. Okay. Human metapneumovirus is a respiratory virus that causes symptoms similar to a common cold and influenza. While the illness is typically mild, it can lead to severe complications such as pneumonia, particularly in infants, elderly, and those with weakened immune systems. The virus is not new, but has gained attention amid a surge in cases, particularly in children under 14 in northern China. First identified in 2001, HMPV is a single-stranded RNA virus that spreads through respiratory droplets or in contact with contaminated surfaces. The infections have previously identified in various countries, including the United Kingdom. Its symptoms include cough, fever, nasal congestion, fatigue, with an incubation period of 3 to 6 days. Unlike COVID, there's no vaccine or specific antiviral treatment for HMPV. Treatment primarily involves managing symptoms. Okay, so here we go. Can it spread to other countries? Hong Kong has reported a few cases. Neighboring countries like Cambodia and Taiwan are keeping a close watch. Cambodia's Communicable Disease Control Department has issued warnings about HMPV, noting its similarity to COVID and influenza. Taiwan Centers for Disease Control has said the virus has higher risks for children, elderly, and immunocompromised individuals. In India, the official said there's no need for panic as that it's like any other respiratory virus. So it looks like we have some nations just realizing a cold is a fucking cold. Still Life says same old song and dance. So just something to keep a side eye on as we continue into the winter. Okay, what do we have going on in Congress? Well, we have few things we'll talk about, but to start off with, we have a GOP lawmaker, Representative Virginia Fox, 81 years old, receives medical attention after she fell at the U.S. Capitol. Virginia Fox of North Carolina, Republican, received attention after falling at the U.S. Capitol Friday, Fox News has learned. Fox, who chairs the House Education Committee, reportedly fell on a staircase on the GOP side of the Capitol shortly after the House voted to re-elect Representative Mike Johnson. Sorry, got a little sinus issue myself all of a sudden when the show started. We got Great Liquor in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you, man. All right. Gotta love the otter. The Congresswoman was bleeding after the incident and is being treated by Capitol medical personnel. Congresswoman appeared to have a bloody nose, but is unknown if she suffered any serious injuries. She was seen walking after the incident and was reportedly being guided by medical attendants to the Capitol physician's office. The Congresswoman assured that she was okay after the fall with humorous posts on social media. Thank you, everyone, for your prayers. Just a few small cuts and I'm doing just fine, Fox wrote on X. I'm a mountain woman and we're tougher than a $2 steak. Look, tougher than a $2 steak is a, it's one of those sayings that's been around for ages, but at some point in time, we've got to have term limits, folks. We should not have octogenarians in Congress. I don't care if she is, one of the good Republicans, so to speak. Okay. Saving that one. I had. Damn it. Well, I had a whole thing queued up, a video talking about. Here, let's just do this. Let's see if I can find a good YouTube video on this. One moment, folks. Bring up my avatar here. Okay. Let's do this. Let's bring this up.
Obviously, we are hearing from one of them right now, Ralph Norman. If he comes a little closer to the camera, we might be able to hear more of what he is saying. But we do know in terms of Congressman Keith Self, he did say that he spoke with President-elect Trump earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
As well
Trump
as
rallied
after the
people
vote.
behind
As
Johnson.
Congressman Norman gets a little closer, I'm going to see if maybe we can get him to stop at the camera real quick. Congressman, why did you change?
we had a good discussion.
Can you stop very briefly? Why did you?
Hold on, let me get over here right quick. I'll come right back.
Well, we're on live, so if you could just tell us very quickly.
No, I mean we had a talk with President Trump. We got in there. We I never know how this stuff's going to come out. I didn't know how people are going to vote. The fact that we got together, Mike gave us his assurances he's going to fight for the things we think are important for the country. And was it worth taking another hour? Yes. And so I'm excited with the way it came out. Mike is too.
All right, thank you, Congressman. All right,
Hold
so
him
you
to
heard
it, damn it.
there. I may have lost my IFB very briefly, so I may or may not be able to hear you, but you heard directly there from Congressman Ralph Norman of South Carolina, one of two House Republicans who switched his vote in favor of Speaker Mike Johnson, saying that he too spoke with President-elect Trump and is taking Speaker Mike Johnson at his word in terms of some of the reforms that he would like to see going forward from the Speaker, and that is kind of what helps seal the deal for him.
So again, promises are made. Still, this is a fallen and I can't get up. Life alert. Yeah. Hopefully they give a lot of these senators and congressmen life alert, because if they're going to be career politicians and stay in there until they're on their deathbed, they need the life alert. But anyway, yeah, Mike Johnson making a bunch of promises. You know, if you don't remember, he made a bunch of promises the first time he was elected speaker. He said Ukraine would not get a dime. Ukraine would not get a dime until our southern border was secure. And within a week, he caved. Now, obviously, he's going to have Trump to contend with. He's going to have a lot of people to contend with. He's got more Republicans now holding him accountable, and hopefully more Republicans will be on alert. All right, let's do this. So there you have it. New Orleans attacker said in videos to his family that he is considered killing them before joining ISIS. Experts said the details have emerged about Shamsud Din Jabbar, 42, align with the typical pattern of how a veteran can be radicalized. Thank you, NBC News. Ken Delanian, Army veteran from Texas who drove to Louisiana and deliberately plowed into New Year's revelers in New Orleans, recorded videos during the drive addressed to his family in which he talked about plans to kill them and told them he had joined ISIS. I wanted to record this message for my family, Shamsud Din Jabbar said in the videos. I wanted you to know that I joined ISIS earlier this year. He then added, I don't want you to think I spared you willingly. He told his family that he'd first wanted to organize a celebration for them and make everyone witness the killing of apostates, an apparent reference to killing them. A senior law enforcement official speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive information. God damn. English motherfucker. Anyway. Confirmed to NBC News the contents of the videos, which first were reported by the New York Times. NBC News has not independently reviewed the videos. Anyway, cheers to Shut Up I Can Cook in the chat over on YouTube. Good seeing you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. All right. Jabbar, 42, drove a rented truck to Houston, blah, blah, blah. Posted the videos online along the way. Once he reached New Orleans' Bourbon Street, he planted 2 IEDs and then got back into his truck and plowed into revelers at 3:15 a.m., killing 14 before police killed him in a shootout. Police said that details have emerged about Jabbar align with the typical pattern of how a veteran can be radicalized to violence. In the years leading up to Wednesday's attack, Jabbar experienced his 3rd divorce accumulated significant debt, lost his corporate job. Divorce court records from January 2022 reveal he was facing business losses and credit card debt in the tens of thousands of dollars, along with more than $27,000 in overdue mortgage payments. By August of that year, his bank accounts held just $2,012, according to filings. While it may not have surprised experts, Jabbar's rampage bewildered his family, friends, and colleagues who described him as kind and unassuming. It's a complete surprise, a shock to everyone, Jabbar's half-brother Abdur Rahim Jabbar IV, said, 24 years old, said in an interview this week. It's not clear when Jabbar first became attracted to ISIS. Abdur Rahim Jabbar shared with their father that their father was Muslim and Shamsuddin Jabbar's mother, who was Christian, converted when they married. Jabbar was open about his Muslim faith, but didn't discuss it in a forceful way. The two rarely talked about religion, he said, though they did discuss the war in Gaza. Jabbar expressed being upset about the situation, calling it genocide on both sides. After his most recent divorce, Jabbar seemed to become more devout, though he never discussed ISIS or radical ideologies. His half-brother described him as trying to find himself. In early 2024, Jabbar posted audio messages on SoundCloud, including one titled Satan's Voice, in which he condemned music as the voice of Satan, claiming it led people into forbidden acts like the use of drugs and violence. Oh my God. I hope somebody has found that SoundCloud. Can you imagine what that SoundCloud, the gold. We have Groiper73 over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Still Life says Garden Variety, CIA Pulp Fiction. Yeah, this does seem like totally a, watch out for your rascally young men. They may seem nice, but all it takes is being downtrodden and they'll plow trucks full of explosives into crowds. Yeah. Definitely part of the narrative. Thank you, Ken Delanian of NBC News. One other thing I wanted to mention here, man, yeah, that fucking SoundCloud. I hope that SoundCloud was found. Let me see here. I'm not going to remember how to spell the guy's name. Let me see. Shamsuddin Jabbar. Okay, here we go. So those of you in the chat who used to be, fans of or maybe still are, Nick Ricada, you used to do that segment Unbreaded of the let's see. Let's see. I'm not seeing the SoundCloud. I can't find it. It's gone. It's gone. Damn it. Getting a hold of that manifesto, the audio manifesto of this guy would probably be fucking gold. Okay, anyway, let's learn a little bit more about this guy, why don't we? Here's another link from NBC News. New Orleans attacker used a very rare explosive. The explosive has never before been used in a U.S. or European terrorist attack. A key question for investigators is how he learned of the explosive and how to use it. The explosive, blah, blah. Neither of the homemade devices exploded, and it remains unclear whether the failure was due to malfunction, lack of activation, or another issue. Jabbar planned to use a transmitter to detonate the two bombs, which were placed in coolers, authorities have said. The ATF and the FBI said in a joint statement on Friday that the explosive devices were placed on Bourbon Street which Jabbar later turned into a scene of devastation. The transmitter and 2 guns were recovered from the truck and are being transported for testing. Okay. But it doesn't say anything about why they think it's rare. What the fuck? Fuck you, NBC News. All right. Well, there's that. One more from NBC News, and we'll get real deep into the. Actually, before we do that, let's do this instead. There was a press briefing about the Vegas thing too, the attack outside Trump Tower. The dude attacked himself. Still Hype says, I like my false flags extra sloppy. Yeah, like these two. So yeah, what was that? Thursday? This is a press conference from Thursday. Oh, this is 25 minutes long. Fuck that. Nope, we're not doing that. I don't have that much time. Let's get into Biden. You could, there's the news about these 2 attacks are all over Twitter, all over all your feeds. If I don't cover it this show, we can definitely, let's get into Biden. So folks, you like myself, a lot of you assumed that this was going to be a lame duck session of the presidency here in the last 2 months of Biden's term, that how much damage could the old guy really do? He's really got to do some transitioning over to the Trump administration. But yeah, never underestimate the globalists' ability to do damage with just a little bit of fucking power. They will do whatever it takes. And, you know, it's hard to overestimate how fucked up things can be. And we've got several stories here. First off, let's do this one. Here's a press briefing from the White House. Today, President Biden named 19 recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Jose Andres, renowned Spanish-American culinary innovator who popularized tapas in the United States. Bono, frontman of the legendary rock band U2. Ashton Carter, 25th Secretary of Defense. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Hillary Clinton gets the Medal of Freedom. Michael J. Fox. Tim Gill, a visionary entrepreneur who's worked advanced LGBTQI rights and equality. Yeah, whatever. Dr. Jane Goodall. Fannie Lou Hamer, founder of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, challenged the exclusion of black voices in the political system and laid groundwork for the Voting Rights Act. Magic Johnson. Bobby Kennedy. Ralph Lauren. Lionel Messi, the soccer player. Bill Nye. George Romney, Mitt Romney's father, former president of American Motors Corporation. David Rubenstein of the Carlyle Group for his philanthropy. Still, I've said Rosa Parks owned a car. Facts. George Soros. Soros is an investor, philanthropist, and founder of the Open Society Foundations. And globalist demon. And from what I understand, as I was seeing on Cool Frog's channel earlier, which, by the way, shout out to Cool Frog. Uh, apparently, George Soros himself wasn't able to receive his award in person. His son accepted the honor for him. So, yeah. George Stevens Jr., writer, director, author, and playwright, founder of the Kennedy Center Honors. Denzel Washington, actor, director, and producer, won 2 Academy Awards, a Tony Award, Golden Globes, Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award. Actor Denzel Washington. Anna Wintour, fashion icon. There we go. All these people are deserving of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, according to Joseph Robinette Biden. But these aren't the only awards he handed out. He also awarded the Presidential Citizens Medal. Yep. To Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson. President Joe Biden awarded Representative Benny Thompson and former Representative Liz Cheney, the chair and vice chair of the now defunct House January 6th committee, with the Presidential Citizens Medal in a ceremony at the White House on Thursday. The medal is the second highest civilian award in the United States, behind only the Presidential Medal of Freedom we just talked about. Your elected officials who served in difficult times with honor, decency, and assure our democracy delivers, Biden said while listing descriptions of the group's recipients. Thompson and Cheney's inclusion on the list of honorees comes amid threats from Donald Trump to punish former members of the House Jan 6 committee, which conducted an 18-month examination. Cookie says, Mild, what system do you use to share your screen? I use StreamYard. Life says, #1 most handsome genuine chocolate face. The Cookie loves Denzel. Oh, Denzel Washington. Yeah. Denzel's a pretty man. I think it's pretty damn simple. Our democracy begins and ends with the duties of citizenship, Biden said at the awards ceremony. That's a work for the ages. That's what all you embody. One by one, an announcer read the names of each recipient who was presented with the medal by Biden. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look at this. Ugh. Enough to make you want to vomit. When the announcer called Cheney's name and announced she was being honored, quote, for putting the American people over party, the audience burst into a loud, sustained applause, culminating in a standing ovation. Minutes later, Thompson also received a standing ovation when he was presented with an award for, quote, his lifelong dedication to safeguarding our Constitution, according to the announcer. Thompson said in a statement that he was honored to receive the medal, adding that he has had an unwavering commitment to upholding the Constitution and defending democracy. Cookie says she does not love Denzel. Still Life said she does. And then Cookie says she likes Travis Kelce. Yeah, you guys can argue about that in the chat. I'm not going to get in the middle of that shit. Representative for Cheney did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The recipients did not deliver remarks. Trump said former members of the committee, which included just 2 Republicans, Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, should go to jail. Thompson fired back at the notion that Trump could jail members of the committee, telling reporters on Capitol Hill that the committee did nothing that violates the law. Okay, we're not going to get into all that shit. Wait. Biden and the senior aides have discussed issuing preemptive pardons for those who could become targets. Yeah, this is all NBC News trying to pressure. That's what this is. Alexandra Marquez of NBC News put this paragraph in there to pressure Biden into pardoning the J6 committee. Thompson and Cheney were among more than a dozen Americans whom Biden honored Thursday. Other recipients include former Senators Chris Dodd of Connecticut, Bill Bradley of New Jersey, Nancy Kassebaum of Kansas, and Ted Kaufman of Delaware. Several veterans, marriage equality activists, women's rights activists, and civil rights activists were also honored. Yay. I gave a medal. Yay. Did you get a medal, Cookie? Did Biden give you a medal? Trump is the man. The world knows he ain't playing. All right. So the reason I earlier mentioned, you don't think Biden could fuck things up? Well, here we go. Wall Street Journal. U.S. plans $8 billion sale of arms, including bombs to Israel. Biden administration notified Congress on Friday of a weapons package made up of thousands of bombs, missiles, and artillery shells. Oh, look, and it's behind a paywall. Okay, fuck you, Wall Street Journal. Well, the only other news story I had was also behind a paywall. So we'll just go right to Love Don't Judge. I'm not having a good day, folks. My apologies. Hit that like button. Even though don't like this. All right, so let's do this. Where's my overlay here? Okay, I'm going to switch the logo over here to the Love Does Admonish logo. Folks, if you're new to the channel, every Saturday we watch an episode of the YouTube show Love Don't Judge. Now, their channel, they like to bring on relationships that have a unique or awkward quirk to them. And usually these folks are upset because they're getting pushback on the internet that they may not feel they deserve. So we here at Miles Culture Plate, we like to look at it and be like, well, maybe there could be a reason, an underlying reason why you might be getting haters. Because we're here at Miles Culture Plate, we like to outlast haters, and we do admonish degenerate love. Cookie says no medal yet. Sipping smooth brandy. Don't depress us with that show. Well, that's all I've got left for the show, folks. The news is just there's no look. It's about to be a snowpocalypse over much of the United States. Like, we're all in for a hell of a snowstorm unless you're down in Texas or Florida or California or Arizona or Nevada, southern states. We're all about to get hit with a hell of a polar vortex. And so to be honest, I've been preoccupied. And all these little news stories and all these every little detail, I'm not going to analyze every little detail. To me, there's enough about these two attacks, this New Orleans attack and this dude who blew himself up in front of the Trump Hotel in Vegas. There's enough of these two attacks that they just reek of false flag, right? They reek of CIA. Life says extreme tribulation games. Cookie says Happy New Year's to me in the chat. Happy New Year's to you as well, Cookie. The Life says have fun storming the castle. Hey, I ain't storming nothing. And I want to be on record of that in case I wind up on being forced to testify for the next January 6th. I said storm nothing. Which, by the way, there's been more footage released. Let's do that. Let me do that. Let me bring that up. So, one of the narratives around the January 6th situation was this. Look at this foot.
You're watching previously unreleased video of the mysterious person who planted pipe bombs outside the offices of the Democratic and Republican National Committees in Washington, D.C. a day before the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol.
How have they
The
still
FBI
not
is
solved
releasing
this?
the footage and more information in hopes of generating new tips for the pipe bomb investigation. Authorities previously offered a reward of up to $500,000 for information leading to the suspect's arrest and conviction. Investigators estimate the unidentified suspect to be about 5 feet 7 inches tall. The most distinctive part of the suspect's outfit are a pair of black and gray Nike Air Max Speed Turf shoes with a yellow logo. The FBI says fewer than 25,000 pairs of the same shoe were sold between August 2018 and January 2021. The pipe bombs were discovered about 17 hours after they were planted. Fortunately, nobody was hurt before the bombs were rendered safe, but the FBI says both devices could have been lethal.
So, you know, you had that situation. So now you have this guy in New Orleans leaving explosive devices that didn't go off. This is the same, you know, same Fed setup, right? Same bullshit. Life says this is insane BS. Yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy. Anyway, let's get into the love, don't judge. Cookie's gonna really like this one. I know how she likes degenerate gay men, as evidenced by, you know, her saying that she likes Denzel Washington. I'm just teasing. I know you said you didn't. Anyway, so here's some gay men for you. He's not my dad. He's my boyfriend.
This is 24-year-old Caleb. He fell in love with 56-year-old Mark.
I say Mark's
This dude's
best
giving me
quality is
Hunter Biden
definitely his
vibes.
eyes.
Their relationship has received criticism due to their age gap.
When I get comments that are calling my boyfriend a flat-out like pedophile, those are the only ones that trigger me.
With friends and family also worrying about the age difference.
Like, you are way younger than him.
With mounting pressures from haters, can their relationship survive any additional turmoil?
Just to start with the cheating. Are you comfortable with me talking about this? I'd rather not.
The cheating? What is going on here? This is degenerate as fuck.
Pancakes and eggs.
Pancakes and AIDS.
It doesn't smell that.
I know, it doesn't really look like a
Like,
pancake.
what the? Is this an egg omelet?
It's weird. It's stove.
I did not want one of those. Do you want to go get breakfast?
Did you just use a metal spatula in a
How me and
non-stick?
Mark met, it's not the most conventional way. I was 17 and he didn't necessarily know that.
Caleb and I met, I was 49 and he was 17. Of
Oh,
course
so it
people are
was
gonna have an issue
pedophilia.
with it.
He was
I
under
didn't
18.
necessarily expect when I met Caleb that I was going to fall in love with him.
I took my friend's phone who I was living with and I downloaded the app. I'm sure everyone knows of Grindr, and I just started messaging, and I got a message from this one guy. He seemed really nice, so he wanted to meet. And I thought, why not? So the next day I went and I met him, and ever since I've been with him.
I started thinking that Caleb was the one. I'm going to say a few months into us seeing one another.
What?
We had probably gone out maybe 8 or 10 times or something over the course of the first few months. I mean, it was not something I expected because of him being that much younger than me.
I can't see your face. There you go. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Whilst Mark was initially concerned about their age gap, he's found mounting judgment about their relationship difficult to deal with.
As far as
Look, the
judgments,
t-shirt.
they
The
see
t-shirt is fucking with me. I can't get over this fucking t-shirt he's wearing.
an older person walking alongside of a younger person is probably going to be, oh, that's his son, that's his nephew, that's something, right? Online, it's very harsh. Everything from I must be a pedophile to this is sick to I don't need to repeat them all, but there's just a lot of people with very closed minds who believe two men shouldn't be together. If an older man's dating a younger woman, that seems to be like, oh, he's got his trophy bride, or it's almost like the high five thing. But if an older man's dating a younger man, it's somehow or another sick and twisted. I don't know.
Caleb has a popular YouTube channel, which frequently features Mark. and his relationship has been criticized harshly online.
When I get comments that are calling my boyfriend a flat out like pedophile, those are the only ones that trigger me.
Yes.
It triggers me specifically because it's a real occurrence. There are actual pedophiles. My boyfriend is in a consensual relationship with a 23-year-old male. People shouldn't judge age gap relationships in general, especially if the two are of legal.
Okay, but you made that decision at age 17. I don't know what the age of consent is where you live. That could be legal, but it's generally frowned upon by society for someone in their 50s to date someone under 18. The idea that consent can be given at age 17 to a 57-year-old. Now, look, I've stated before on this show several times that my opinion of age gap differences is as long as they're of age, of consent, and can legally consent, and you got to use the campfire rule of leave it as good as you found it or better, right? I think time will tell what's going on with these two, but I'm already getting this isn't going to end well vibes, right? And my brain just keeps going back to Milo Yiannopoulos about 4 or 5 years ago when he got canceled by conservatives for, claiming that, 16-year-old boys, they just, they love to fuck older men. No. Hard fucking limit. I don't care how flamboyant you are. You don't need to fuck 55-year-olds.
Legal age, and they're both in a consensual relationship.
So one of the judgments is that I must be buying his affection. And, the YouTube channel probably encourages that because a lot of his titles are sugar baby and blah, 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 blah. They're sensationalized and they intend to get people.
Oh, so he's a fucking content creator who plays up on this fucking notion. And then, it hurts when they call him a pedophile. Oh, I'm a sugar baby. Fuck you.
Well, what is this?
None of this has anything to do. Anyway.
All about, right? So they have to go watch the video, but he's not a sugar baby. He's very capable of taking care of himself and he wants to.
But the couple have had to deal with more than just judgment online. They've had their own relationship issues to contend with.
Imagine that. Yeah. Well, I call it the cheating, even though it was. Are you comfortable with me talking about this?
I'd rather not.
So basically, my boyfriend has been cheating on me. On my Instagram, I got a message from this account called I'm So Into Mark. For the past few months, he's been sneaking away to my apartment. Oh, what do you have to say for yourself? Who is this person?
She's bomb ass up there. It's really hard to resist.
Stay away from my boyfriend. He's my hunk. I know he's sexy.
Did he just say this other dude had a bomb ass bussy? And what's up with the makeup? Like, why are you trying to look like a 40-year-old woman? Oh, this is just... this screams mental help needed, right? This screams that these men need to go to therapy.
And that's why I'm trying to keep him off my channel.
I'm sorry, you did that.
How to overcome cheating. Well, basically, that was a hard lesson.
Like, you're making a YouTube video. Cookies, why are you showing this madness? Because that's what we do on this show. We show madness. And we ridicule it. Still Life says normalized identity crisis and pride. Look, it's seeing that YouTube video. Let's go back just a hair. Look, the old dude's just eating pizza. Like, he's just trying to fucking eat his lunch. And Glam Boy here, which help me think of a nickname here. Glam Boy, because I'm not going to ever remember names of anyone on Left Don't Judge except for Violent J. Glam Boy here sets his camera up and drills his boyfriend about the cheating and has this emotional moment. Dude's just trying to enjoy his pepperoni. Let the dude enjoy his fucking pepperoni.
And that's why I'm trying to keep him off my channel.
I'm sorry, you did look.
How to overcome cheating. Well, basically, that was a hard lesson that we learned not to share. Mark is human. I'm human. I wouldn't be lying if I didn't.
How did we overcome it? Well, that was a lesson we learned not to share. Oh, yeah, it was an orgy. They went to an orgy.
Mistakes myself in this relationship. But I think what's important is to grow from it. I'm stronger today.
Even Caleb's closest friend is.
Hey, cheers and welcome to Cool Frog in the chat over on Rumble. Good seeing you, brother. Oh, getting low on water. It's bubbling up.
Also concerned about their relationship.
Sugar. You smell amazing. Are these for me?
Oh yeah, the fucking little yippy dog.
Thank you for bringing
There wasn't
those.
enough stereotypes in this video.
So I know we already talked about this before, but I want you to be honest. What do you think about Mark now that you met him a couple more times?
What do I think about Mark?
Yeah.
Obviously, as a friend, I think about long-term things. I think about his health. Like, you're a super adventurous person. Is he going to be hiking mountains with you?
Oh my God. Okay. She's worried about the health of a 55-year-old. The guy's not in his 70s yet. Cookie says I'm tore up and asks if I would help her using StreamYard. I'm willing to help where I can. I'm definitely not an expert. I have my own issues with StreamYard all the time, so your results may vary.
Right. That's why I keep telling him. That's actually what I'm telling him.
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously, I thought about that. Other things that I think about are like concerns as far as.
Now, granted, eating a big greasy pizza at age 55 when he's already a chubby dude's probably not the best. By the way, this sister here is hot.
His interests were like, you are way younger than him.
Yeah.
So that crossed my mind a little bit.
But
But
she's dumb.
it's so weird because when I met Mark, like instantly I didn't have any of these doubts anymore.
You're not the first friend to tell me that. But I think it takes meeting him in person to understand
Absolutely.
the dynamic like between us. Because I'm sure you assume like, oh, maybe it's just for money or something.
I think that you guys really balance each other out.
Balance.
I feel like that too.
I'm sure a lot of people expected this to be some weird flash in the pan, and he's doing this, and then either he'll move on to a new sugar daddy or whatever it was. Right? We've been together for it's just shy of 6 years. We've outlived a lot of marriages,
yes,
and
23,
we don't have any intention of parting ways. I mean, we're very happy together. We're about to we're in the process of buying our dream home in Hawaii and moving to the islands.
I think Mark's
Hawaii, where age of
is
consent is
definitely his
14,
eyes.
or
I
at
just
least
think
was
he
a few
is
years back.
So handsome, and the outside matches the inside. Truly.
Caleb's best quality is he's very
16.
compassionate. He cares about his friends. He cares about the world. He cares about our little loved ones. And he cares about me.
Despite the judgment and difficulties they face, the couple's relationship still has hurdles to jump, but they remain committed to their love for one another.
The most difficult thing is knowing that, I'm probably going to die when Caleb's sometime in his 40s, in the prime of his life, quite literally. I'm going to disappear. And hopefully I don't go out
40s is the prime of
like
your
a
life.
lot of people do, which is just slow,
Where's the guy
fade,
you
horrible, lengthy death. My goal in life is to die with a look of surprise on my face. Like, really, right now?
I look forward to spending the rest of my life with you. The rest of your life, I should say. And even if you're going to be in a wheelchair, or I want to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you, baby.
Bro's going to be
I want
my
you to take
age
care of me.
changing diapers.
I mean that. I love you. I love you too.
Why? What's up with the pecking kisses? Like, what's up with that? Like, that's the way you would kiss a family member. That wasn't passion. I don't know if I saw passion there. Like, I saw degeneracy. It looked like a hostage situation. I'm not going to lie. Still Life says circus freaks. Well, you definitely had a clown painted his face. And look, I try not to go for the low hanging fruit, right? It's not about the gay stereotypes, and it's not necessarily about the age difference. It's about the fact that I saw a young man there who is clearly hungry for some kind of attention, and an older dude who clearly didn't necessarily need the attention, but is flattered by it, is honored by it. And again, maybe this could be a little projection on my part. Maybe I need a little bit of the flattering, so to speak, which I'll probably get after this show, by the way. Cookie says my hair's out of control. What's wrong with my damn hair? It's fine. I brushed it out right before the stream. Yeah, I spent more time on my hair than I did the actual show prep. I mean, I spent a lot of time on the show prep. Don't get me wrong. I had so many things prepared, and then, yeah, these news outlets and their freaking paywalls kind of threw a wrench in some of the stories I had ready. One other news story we didn't really talk a lot about today, that's been buzzed about is Trump's New York trial on the hush money. His motion to dismiss as or overturn or whatever motion was not granted. His sentencing will be January 10th, before he gets inaugurated. He could be sentenced to jail. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Cookie says, Mild, tell everyone X is now shutting people down. They're bothering me as well. Yeah. I did touch on that a couple of shows ago. This new algorithm, and now you have Elon Musk saying he wants to deboost people for negativity. Elon Musk is making a lot of just bad decisions with X lately, and yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the site can survive. I'm hoping they can weather the storm, and I'm hoping he'll change his mind. Actually, what I'm hoping is eventually he'll be too fucking busy with Doge to worry about what's going on with X, and let. Well, then again, no, because Linda Yaccarino and some of the people he surrounded himself with at X aren't really any better. But maybe enough people will push back. Maybe he'll change his mind. Maybe people will lean on Trump to lean on him. I don't know. Yeah, Cookie says because of the visa stuff, he is weak. He needs a woman that can rock his world. Well, he had the bed shitter, right? He chooses women who shits in men's beds. So I don't trust his judgment in women, right? He chose Linda Yaccarino to run Twitter. He chose Amber Heard to run his bedroom. Oh shit! What is this? This is new. Let me talk about this real quick. One more news story, and then we'll end the show. A cartoonist quits the Washington Post after a cartoon about Jeff Bezos is killed. Rough version of the cartoon she drew for the Washington Post above was rejected by the paper's editorial page editor. You've got Mickey Mouse. I don't understand. Mock media and tech titans appraising themselves before Donald Trump. Among the corporate chiefs depicted is Jeff Bezos. Okay, so this is supposed to be Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg? Inspiration for the latest cartoon was the trek by top tech executives, including Bezos, to Mar-a-Lago, as well as the seven-figure contributions several promised to make toward his inauguration. She submitted the sketch before Christmas. It was never published. I'm very used to being edited. I've never, ever since I've worked for the Post in 2008, not been allowed to comment on certain topics. Okay, so yeah, she got mad. She got mad that her boss didn't print her work. Fuck all this. Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist. NPR, quit generating bullshit. Disney taking the knee. Anyway, I thought that would be more interesting than it was, but no, it's just I just killed my camera on accident. Fun times, folks. I just killed my damn camera. There we go. Gotta love finishing off the show with a critical error like that. Yes, OBS. OBS is. Cookie asks, "What is my favorite meal?" It changes from time to time, but the one that's most time tested, my girlfriend likes to make is basically like a roasted veggies and smoked sausage. She calls it the sheet tray bake, where she just essentially just chops a bunch of onions and peppers and sometimes squash and then a bunch of potatoes, and then seasons them up real good, sprinkles a little bit of oil, and then throws them in the oven for about 20-30 minutes, and then takes a nice big Polish sausage link or kielbasa, and she'll chop it up into little, you know, big fat, slices, and then put it on the tray and stick it back in the oven. And yeah, we just scoop a big scoop of onions, peppers, potatoes, squash, and if it's seasoned right, that's just one of the best meals. Just potatoes and meat, and it's not super high calorie. Not eating a bunch of dairy. You can sprinkle a little cheese on it if you'd like, but I think it tastes fine without it. That tends to be one of the things I like the most. I'm also a big fan of pastas, but yeah, that sheet pan bake, oh, very good, very good. Anyway, so folks, that's going to be the show for today. Cookie says, "Good, she's taking care of you." Yeah, that's gonna be the show for today. I will be back this Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, 6 p.m. Central. Come on in at that time. Say hello in the chat. Get your toasts. Have a good old time like we usually do. Hopefully, again, well wishes to everyone in the path of this Arctic vortex, whatever. This snowstorm, the areas that are getting blizzard like conditions. Definitely hope all of you manage to keep your power on, keep your belly stocked up, and be safe driving on those roads if you have to. But yeah, so before you leave, please hit that like button. If you're new here, please follow me. I know this wasn't one of the best shows I've done, but I promise they do get better. We do have some really good ones sometimes. So hang in there with me. Follow me. We'll do other shows. We'll have a good old time. Come on back. Watch me again. And join the community in the chat like Sanglant, Still Life, and Cookie and Cool Frog, and Great Liquor did today. And yeah. Follow me on the social media down in the description of the video. Till next time, folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Outlast those haters. Gotta find somebody to raid here. Oh, and of course my Rumble's not working very well. Uh-oh. Wow, my Rumble went down late last night while I was on Cool Frog's channel. And looks like they might be having some issues again today. So anyway, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, outlast those haters. Don't get any on you, and if you do, rub that shit in real good. I don't get to raid anybody today. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good night.